Hi, everybody. If this is your first time here, we're glad you're here. And if you've returned, that's even better. So, tonight, I thought we would talk about like what goes in, comes out kind of thing. But, okay. All right. All right. Now, listen, I play the bass on the praise and worship team. And I go to church, and you guys know, you know. This podcast is called Real and Redeemed. So I am redeemed, but I am also real. And this has eaten me up alive, so I'm just going to put it out there.
She spit it so fast.
I can't
can't
stand it, okay? I'm just telling you, I can't stand it. I was trying to remember the last time I really lied. Well, other than what I'm going to tell you, because I was a big-ass lie, is what I did. So here's the deal. I don't remember the last time I lied, but I used to be a significant liar, okay? Significant back in the day. Why? I don't know. It's not a part of who I am anymore. But let me tell you. So I quit vaping, I don't know, September, October. Okay, so I don't lie anymore. It was over a month, okay? Please don't be smiling. I can't help it. Don't smile. It's like so not funny. Anyways, so I have this really good friend, and she calls me like every Monday morning on her way to work, and I put her name out there, but I don't think it's right, okay? But what I will say...
She may not want to claim you right now.
No, she probably doesn't. All I'm hoping is that I'm forgiven. Now, I am going to apologize to her face. This isn't her apology. This is my I don't know. I don't know what it is, but...
My girl's over here feeling really guilty, and she needs to, just purge this until she has peace.
Yeah, because... Yeah, that's right. That's what's happening. So anyways, she calls me on Monday mornings, usually on her way to work, because we can't talk at church on Sunday. I do altar call, and then church is over and everybody leaves, and so there's that. We talk on Monday morning. So she calls me, and we're talking, and she says, "Are you vaping?" And I said, "No." It just rolled. No. Well, I know that sound, and it sounds like you're vaping. And I say, well, I don't know what you're hearing, because I'm not. That's really weird, right?
That's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what I think, what I think of when I think of this. When my son was drinking, his wife knew, and she would say something to him, and he would answer back in a way that made her think she was crazy, when that happens over and over. So anyways.
We could spend a lot of time talking about gaslighting after the rest of your story. We could circle back to that.
Well, this is the real part, because I'm going to tell you, there's somebody else out there that told a lie, okay? I mean, I don't know. It's horrible.
Or who's struggling with that particular addiction. It's a hard one to lay down.
Well, it ain't like I do it all the time. I said I can't remember the last time I did it. Don't sound like I'm doing it all the time.
I'm not talking about lying. I'm talking about vaping.
Oh, yeah. No, that's evil. But for me, I mean, it's big. But anyways, and what they say is smoking, quitting that is worse than stopping heroin. Now, I stopped both, but I went to vaping, all right, and hadn't smoked a cigarette since I vaped and, go chem or whatever. It doesn't matter. Recently, after that, I lied to her again. I lied again. All right, so Sunday when I see her at church, I'm going to tell her I lied, because I'm going to tell you what. Eaten me alive. Okay, now immediately I tell God, please forgive me. But then, like I said, I turned around and lied a second time. Okay. Just rolled out like I'm a big ass liar every day, and I'm not, you know? So, one thing though, I will say that I am grateful for is that it bothers me so much. I just can't even stand it. Like, I thought about calling her, but I just don't think that's good enough. I think I need to be looking in her face because I love her. Now, whether she forgives me or not, or continues to think Kim's a big ass liar, I mean, I don't know, because that's what I feel like.
Richie, I don't have
But
a
I'm
spray
not.
bottle.
Well, okay. So that's the real part. That's real. I just don't know. I I I probably hate it worse than anybody else. Like, if the praise and worship leader watches this, please don't throw me off the team. But
Look, what happens on the podcast stays on the podcast, guys.
yeah, well, we know it don't, we know it don't. And I also know there'll be people at church going, oh yeah, Kim's a big liar. And I left out the A word. But I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I'm forgiven. I just got to make amends with my friend and hope that she still loves me and doesn't think every word out of my mouth is a big A lie. So that's what I got.
We're just a big A.
Yeah, I am.
Look, listen, seriously. So vaping is hard to quit. And like nicotine is the hardest thing. And I'll share a little bit about my own journey because I know like a lot of people.
Oh, God, and what I said. Here we go.
I wasn't even going to throw that out, but
Okay.
now I will.
Okay.
So let's see, I will be clean from drugs. It'll be like 9 years this upcoming spring. And nicotine was the last to go, other than like the caffeine. Like I go through periods where I'll kind of lay it down, but for the most part, it's sticking around. So, but still, like the nicotine, like I knew, like I had to give that up. And I had quit pretty early on smoking cigarettes. I'd fasted for a while, and you go long enough without food and you don't want nicotine. Like that desire does kind of fall off. So I did good for a while, and then, like you're eating food, you're living life, being all regular and normal. Eventually you start to get full, and then that desire comes back. So I was somewhere where people were smoking. I bummed a cigarette off of somebody, and then the next thing you know, I'm out buying a pack. And then I didn't go too far. I was like, I know I can't keep doing this. So I laid that down, but I picked up the nicotine gum and the nicotine lozenges. And I had started with the gum. I couldn't stay on the gum because it hurt my teeth. So then I switched to the lozenges. And those things were like the most convenient. They're in a little tube. They're in my pocket. I can pop them all day long. I don't have to step out away from things. I don't, it just looks like I'm popping a little mint. Not a big deal. I can do this all day long. So then I'm doing this. And then like for years kind of rotated between the lozenges and then patches. And then I eventually went back to like a vape instead of cigarettes. And then like just rotated these things off and on for years, and would even go like a long time and not do anything at all. But eventually I would cave and go back to one. So I'm hoping this was my final round. I'll never swear to it because I feel like, the minute you're like, oh yeah, I got her licked, then boom, you trip. And I'm not trying to be tripping. So, hey, Tammy, by the way, sorry, I saw hey, thanks for joining us, girl. You doing all right tonight? Anyway,
I hope you keep loving me.
Please forgive Kim and continue to be her friend. So anyway, just a couple years ago, I went to Wyoming for a week-long Christian women's horse retreat. It was amazing. And while I was there, I ate the most delicious, rich food, and it was awesome. And at the time, I was still using my nicotine lozenges, but that was it, just the lozenges. And then I'm there all week and I'm eating all this amazing food and I come back and I'm just full. And and I told myself while I was there, when I get home, I'm going to fast, just a couple day fast, whatever, just to kind of reset my body. Well, I got back and I didn't fast. I just kept on eating. I never reset my body. So instead of like bringing things down to like that baseline, I just keep pushing things up to where I'm like, I'm so full, I'm so full, I'm so full. Guess what? Mama needed that vape. So mama went and picked up a vape and I'm vaping. And like nobody knows that I'm vaping. Okay, I got to throw that in because I am going to throw you under the bus now. So like nobody knows that I'm vaping and I'm vaping and I don't even give up the nicotine lozenges. I'm doing the vapes on top of the nicotine lozenges.
Heart attack.
Oh, I know. Like just the most nicotine. Like just if I can get it in, I'm getting it in. Like I was strung out on nicotine. It was dumb. Okay. But this was my life for a while. And it was just like too long. Like I'm spending money that nobody knows that I'm spending. And I just like I'm all the time having to deal with like I know that I have this dirty little secret that I'm not telling anybody about. So I feel like a big fat liar. And I just don't like it. I'm not comfortable with that. So I guess technically, like I was lying then and I was telling you like the last time I lied, it was a few years ago, but technically it wasn't because up until the point that I laid that down, I was because I was keeping that secret from my family. Actually, what's funny, and I love this about her, the first person to really notice, girl, we get it. No shame. We love you. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Right.
My daughter noticed and she called me out and she was like, Mom, are you vaping again? And in that moment, and this is funny because I went to the exact opposite that you did because I knew I could gaslight her very easily. You're a kid. You're a little kid. You don't know nothing. But I wanted her to know that her discernment was on point. And in that moment for her, I cared more about that than I did. So I threw myself under the bus and I was like, yes, I am. But then I was like, listen, I'll let people know. Like, I'm going to throw myself under the bus. Don't you worry about it, and it was good. We had a good talk, but she was there for me. So anyway, fast forward to towards the end of last year, God is really dealing with me on this. First of all, my throat hurts all the time from the lozenges. My lungs hurt all the time from the vape. Like it's weighing me down and draining me in so many ways. The lies, the money, the lungs, all the things. And I'm tired of being tired. And like, it's just really getting to be out of control for me. And then like God is throwing things in and I can't even remember because I'm terrible about journaling, but there were little things, God would speak something in here. He would show me something here, there were just little jewels that he was hiding on my path for me to come across and to know that he was about to guide me out of this. So last December, we are at a praise and worship practice and I went through my house. I had old vapes like stashed in place. They didn't even work anymore. And I just I couldn't throw them away because it would have been inconvenient to carry it through the house to the trash can while there were people in the house. So they were stashed here. I will have I have found them since. But I get all these vapes and I have a whole purse full of vapes and I take them into the praise and worship practice that we're about to have. And I just threw them all on the altar at church and I'm crying. And I was like, I'm laying these down. I'm not going to vape anymore. And I was really sobbing because I knew it was different this time when I quit. It was it wasn't like God was taking it from me. I was giving them up and I didn't want to give them up. But I was doing it anyway, and I knew it was the right thing to do. I was trying to be the living sacrifice, offer my body like that, to be the temple.
Guess who picked them up? Picked them all up and took them home.
Did you?
Every one of them.
I
went through them and saw which ones were empty, and you thought a lot of them were, but they weren't. I didn't have to buy a vape for probably 2 months.
That is hilarious.
No, it's really not. But that wasn't a secret. I just scooped them up and it was cool.
Yeah, we all knew I thought she was taking them to throw away. But anyway.
No, I took them home.
So immediately God confirms what I've done with the vapes. and it was beautiful. And I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. Like, I really needed that. So I keep on going. And then a couple weeks later in January, I lay down the lozenges because I'm like, I have to do this the whole way. Okay. The whole way. No nicotine at all. But I didn't do it all at once. I tried to make it a little easier on myself. Now, mind you, I've been on all this nicotine, and I mean all this nicotine for like a couple years now, like solid. So when I go to lay these lozenges down, I don't want to say I flipped out, but it was way harder than I thought it was going to be. And so last Christmas, I bought Doug this little like mobile at home sauna, kind of a cheapy deal, but this thing is actually really great. Like really better than the one at the gym. Like it's incredible for a very low price. Okay? So all through the month of January, I'm sitting in this sauna, sweating and crying, and sweating and crying a lot, and crying some more because I don't know. Like I just did. I really did not want to give up the nicotine, and I just had all these feelings like physically, and not bad. I mean, it's mentally, I think it's harder than coming off of other drugs, and physically there's something there, but it's different. I mean, it's not like you get sick like you do when you come off of heroin, but it is hard. It is very hard, and mentally it was very draining on me, and I sweat and I cried, and I sweat and I cried, and it took me time, but I did eventually get over it. But that day that I threw my vapes on the altar, Kim was shocked because not that I had been vaping, but the fact that I had been secretly vaping. So she gave me so much crap about the fact that like I was hiding that I was vaping, okay? So then I come in here tonight, we're getting ready to set up to do the podcast. First thing out of her mouth when I come walking through the door, she tells me about how she lied to her friend and she was vaping. And what's funny is I talked to her the other day on the phone and I heard the vaping. And I was like, maybe she's not. Maybe I'm just hearing things. But if she is, I'm just not even going to say anything. But I could tell. That was definitely the vape sound. You can tell over the phone. So, but anyway, I had to give her crap because I'm like, you gave me crap for secretly vaping, and then you turned around and you did the same thing.
It's just humiliating, actually. It's just, whew. I love it, though, in the sense of I'm not there, okay? I'm not there, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
You're not where?
I'm not anywhere. I'm not anywhere. Okay?
I was trying to help you guys figure out what she was talking about, but nobody knows.
I'm not. I try to live right, and I'm not there.
It's hard.
So
life is hard.
That's what the podcast is about, though. It really is.
Yeah.
Now, if I do something major like rob a bank, I ain't gonna sit up here and tell it on the podcast. I'll tell you that right now. But that's what I told Heather. I wished I had lied about something worth lying about. Because my philosophy is I'm a grown
robbing
woman.
a bank is not worth lying about.
I'll vape if I want. Okay, I'll vape if I want. But
it's
the problem
my
with
party and I'll vape if I want to.
Vape if I want to.
Vape if I
You
want
vape
to.
too.
If it happened to.
Yeah, right. But I don't really feel like that. It's just not okay for me.
Yeah. Seasons, man. Like we were talking last week about seasons.
I don't want no season of this. I have of a week, and it's over.
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't want no season.
Seasons don't have to be long to be seasons. You can have a short season. Stuff goes on in your life, and you have a little setback or whatever, and it's a little season.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about what you're surrounding yourself with. Okay, in the sense of everything you do, which I never thought like this. Like, so what comes in goes out. Or maybe it doesn't go out and it stays in, but eventually it will come out.
Out of the abundance of the heart,
yes.
the mouth speaks.
Right. So when we're talking about that, we're talking about who you hanging with, what you're talking about at work,
Mm-hmm.
what you're watching on TV, what are you listening to in your ears. Those things are really, really important. Now, you can see I told a lie, and I wasn't around no liars. I just was with me and Satan, I guess, for a minute, you
You
know.
got to stop hanging out with that loser.
Yeah, for sure. That was
We're
just,
doing God's will.
it was a moment, a moment. But those things are really important. And they take, you know, in Alcoholics Anonymous, it says, you know, what do you have to change? You have to change everything, people, places,
People,
and things,
places,
you
and
know.
things. People don't realize how important that is.
It is
It
so
makes all the
important.
difference in the world.
And it's so funny. I want to get off this lie thing, you know, but I just really can't.
She's really suffering, you guys. She
But
feels bad.
I do, you know, I do. But it's okay. It's okay. This too shall pass. That was my dad's saying, and it was one of the greatest sayings. Sometimes it made me mad, but you know what? Everything always did pass, and he was right about that. And this too shall pass. But the thing of, you know, like I don't drink today, you know, so I'm not going to go hang out in a bar unless, like Billy said, unless God told me, hey, you know, you have to go in this bar. You know, there's some, so I mean, people do go in a bar and help people, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, those things don't change overnight, you know. And it's so funny because back when I was rounding, you know, I was trying not to talk about people, okay?
When you were rounding, please explain that.
Well, when I was seeing patients, okay? So I'd go in, and what I would notice is I'd walk in, and there'd be 2 or 3, mostly women, talking, and not talking good, okay? Either talking about bad about the patient or bad about somebody else that worked there or just bad in general, you know? And I'd walk into that. And the next thing I know, I'm head nodding, you know, and yeah, you know, yeah. And I'm throwing in my 2 cents worth. So I started setting my alarm on my phone, and I set it for like every 2 hours, and it would go off. So I would note, what am I doing right now? And I would say 9 times out of 10, I was doing that kind of thing, okay? And I would excuse myself, go to the bathroom, get on my knees, ask God to forgive me. So that went on. It went to 4 hours, it went to 6 hours, it went to 8 hours till I didn't need to do it anymore, okay?
That's a good idea.
And that's how I got through that. Now, at that time, I really didn't know why I was doing it. I couldn't separate out the sin from the person. I didn't know that, okay? That you can love the person. You don't have to have them in your home and living with you, you know, and you don't have to go spend hours with them, okay? You can separate yourself, which I do quite often, okay? But there's a difference between the broken person that I very much was. You know, that's the sin. Separate that from me. Like I hope we do about this lie, you know, but it's neither here nor there. Television, but jump in. It's like
Oh my
whenever you're
gosh,
ready.
television. Listen, was it last year or the year before? I don't know. But my husband and I were held hostage for 10 seasons of Blacklist. And I remember teaching Sunday school, and I wouldn't tell the kids what show it was. But I told the kids, I was like, look, you guys, because they like to have conversations and be real. Teens are very real, okay? If you can make a teen feel comfortable, they will sit and tell you stuff. So we're talking, and we're talking about binge watching Netflix, and we don't even have Netflix anymore. We got rid of it after this specifically. The only reason we even had Netflix in the first place was because someone, when we first got horses, someone said, oh, you need to watch Heartland. So we did.
I like
And
Heartland.
yeah, Heartland's a great show.
I don't
Very
have Netflix
entertaining, pretty
anymore, though.
wholesome. It's not God-centered. It could have been. I feel like, they really missed a great opportunity to bring
Right.
God into that. But, it still is fairly wholesome. Nothing dirty and stuff. So anyway, we had Netflix for a while, and um, we started watching Blacklist, and it's got James Spader, who plays this character, Raymond Reddington, who is like he's on the wanted list, but then he ends up working with the FBI or something to bring down these other criminals. And it was the most engaging, like, drew you in, really interesting plots, the storyline, the characters, the acting, everything about this show was just for months, because we don't binge real quick. We don't have time to just binge shows the way some other people binge shows. So it took us a very long time to get through these 10 seasons. But I remember telling these teens about the show that I was watching, and I was feeling very frustrated that I was wasting a lot of my time, but I wouldn't tell them what show I was watching because I didn't want them to go and look it up and get stuck in there too. And then, so we have a group of ladies that we have lunch with on Fridays, and we're all very open, and it's a wonderful group of ladies. We all love each other and encourage each other and, deal with each other's crap. Well, I'm telling them one day, and I didn't even want to tell them the show, but I'm like, listen, you guys, the show is holding us hostage, and I'm wasting so much time, and I'm tired, and I should be doing other things, and I'm not. At the end of the day, I'm wasting like 2 hours, and I hated myself over this. Like, I just really was not a very good steward of my time, and this also was going on at the same time I was secretly vaping. Okay. It was just a whole, of a mess. But anyway, when that got over, I was like, we have to get rid of and not even right away got rid of Netflix, but fairly soon after that, we were like, this has to go. We can't keep doing this. And like, this is just such a waste of time. And
I got rid of Netflix because of what they stand for, so we'll just.
Oh yeah, they've had what was it? They put a show on there that had very, very, very young ladies doing things that very, very young ladies should not be doing. So yeah, like, you shouldn't promote Netflix anyway. But I don't know. But you talk about like what comes in comes out, and for me, like, I wasn't running around and like murdering people or doing these big criminal heists or anything because I was watching it on TV. But you know what it did do? It fueled some laziness in me. And it kept me from doing things that I should have been doing. Yeah. And then, like, I'm really bad at time management. So like, here I am wasting this time when I could be doing other things that would set me up for the next day or for the week or, whatever it is. And no, I just had no interest. I just wanted to watch my show at night. And I wanted to secretly vape every time I went to the bathroom. And everybody's wondering why it takes me 10 minutes to pee. I was just a house of lies. Okay? And you can make it out too. I don't know, but you can't just keep putting crap in and expecting good things to come out. That's just not
Well, have
how
you
it
ever
works.
hung out with, even if it's somebody you're trying to help, if you spend a significant amount of time with them, you start like thinking like that, and
Yes.
I think like that on my own.
Picking
I
up
don't
other
need no
people's
help.
slang.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's for sure.
Annoying. You start
Yeah.
saying things and you're like, oh my gosh, I know exactly where that dumb thing came from.
Yeah, that's for sure.
6, 7.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know what that is, but
Look, you know what I've been telling them now? I'm like, no, it's not. It's not the 6, 7. You got to go 7, 6. Okay, that's the year the whole squad pulled up and declared independence from Great Britain. Okay, and like, somebody did that. Somebody took a lot of time and started doing this whole 7-6 campaign where they AI'd George Washington, and they've got him talking total teenage slang, and he's doing the 7-6, and it's like, really, it's funny because it's making fun of the 6-7 thing, but it's also educating our youth as far as like America's history. Yeah, which is a very cool thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that dumb stuff, it gets stuck in your head, and you just can't. It just gets stuck in there, and it burns your brain cells.
Then there's music.
Oh.
Now listen, there's a whole new vocabulary for young people. I don't even know what half of it means. I have to ask. I have to ask. I just never heard. They just have these words and they call things stuff, and I'm really just, I don't know. I'm not too interested in that. But music is something else too. Now, not that. I mean, there's foul music, so we're not talking about that. But let's talk about normal music. So, like listening to country music, the twang of the heartbreak over and over and over. That's a downer eventually. You know, I don't. I listen to secular music. I practice secular music for my bass. Okay, almost because I have to. Okay, if I'm going to get good and I'm going to get fast and I'm going to do all that, because a lot of praise and worship music is kind of made the same, and for me, I learn, but I'm not doing the words and all that. My husband says something about it all the time, you listening to that secular music. Well, I'm not really listening to it, I'm really just, I get the music, and I'm playing it and then trying to teach myself to play. But I find out, this thing of praise and worship is anywhere and all the time. When I listen to worship music, I am worshiping and I am praising, or sometimes I'm just like, it makes me so grateful. The crucifixion still, if I walk through that and imagine it and think about it, it still breaks me. So, like, sometimes some of those songs are about that, and it breaks me. But it breaks me in a good way, not a way that's it just makes me grateful, that Jesus came and did this for us, knowing, and thank God he did it for past, now, and future sins, because, of course, I just did one. Do you have anything to say?
Well, I was trying to look up some lyrics for some songs.
Bad songs?
No, well, yes.
Oh.
But
well, there's a lot of rap and stuff that talks about killing cops.
Oh my gosh, for
blah,
sure.
blah, blah, and the language is hose and all of that. Not that I haven't been one, but I don't think that's something we should be out there singing about it, and the kids love it. They're not even thinking about the words. But you have to think back. If you look up music and you look up the composers and the writers of the music and see where they are in their life, and then the songs that come out, it's really very telling, of I can't listen to this, even though the words aren't bad, where this person is at is not for me. I don't want to be there. I've been there.
I'm not prepared enough to have this conversation, but we could plan it for the future. So first of all, what is it? There's like one main music writer that writes most of the songs for several different genres that come out of Hollywood. All the stuff, all these crazy things, the thoughts and the things that other people are singing all originate back, not all, but mostly originate back to this one person. And there are lyrics in songs that if you actually, a lot of them, you almost hide lyrics in certain tunes and you don't even realize what you're singing until somebody breaks it down for you later. And I was trying to find this stuff, but there are lyrics that really talk about Antichrist stuff, about the devil, and not in like a regular in your face kind of way. they sneak it in and have you singing these lyrics and you don't even realize. Even Michael Jackson, he came out and told people music is to hypnotize you. It's to get things in you. And there are some things that you will say that you would never say any other way unless it was put to this tune that makes you
And
feel,
you're just jamming,
that gets you.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, just
absolutely. So, there is a whole, and I know, like, if that's just not where you are, then you're probably thinking these crazy girls, they've drank the Kool-Aid or something. But listen, like, it's real. And like, we could have a whole show and pull out different song lyrics and talk about it. Like, it's not going to happen today, but like, that's definitely a very real thing.
Well, we've talked many times. Well, maybe we haven't, and maybe we should, about the power of speech. God spoke creation. Your words matter. They matter very much. The Bible talks about that you can kill someone with your words, or you can elevate someone with your words.
A soft tongue can break bones.
Yes, so that is really, really important. So when you're singing that stuff, you can't discount that. It's rolling out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It matters. What rolls out of your mouth matters. What you take into your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, this world is crazy. We have enough stuff coming that we don't want.
And it was music that fueled my old life, my sexuality, being a stripper for a while, other things that I did, because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, because we talked about who are you worshiping. We're all made to worship, right? Like, you're worshiping something, whether you realize it or not.
Right.
And at the end of the day, in that season of my life, I worshiped myself. Anytime I got up on that stage and up on that pole, I got to pick the song that I was feeling in that moment. And let me tell you, I was the saddest stripper anybody ever met. My stripper friends at the club eventually had to have like an intervention with me. And they were like, we realize you're going through some things, but you can't keep dancing to this music. It's sad and depressing. But I was in my own little world. For 5 minutes, I got up there. The lights were on me. Everybody was staring at me. I was high as a kite. I'm dancing around in my feels. And I was dealing with the breakup. Okay. Or my crappy life. Like, I was dealing with my stuff, and there were certain songs that made me feel like I was this goddess that everybody needed to be, paying all their attention to. And it made me feel like, oh, you poor thing, you're going through this, and it's so sad, and you need to feel this. You really need to live in your feels. That's what the enemy wants from you. He wants you to live in your feels.
Yes,
and music fuels that more than anything. Recently, I know a chick who has a very good, happy life and has a pretty good relationship. And the songs that I hear her singing more often than not are like sad breakup songs. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you even listening to this crap? If you ever leave me, baby, leave some morphine at my door. Come on now. First of all, you're 12 years old. Second of all, you're in a happy, healthy relationship and you have amazing people surrounding you who love you. Why would you even consider, think of the words. Okay, because the beat makes you, the notes, it makes you feel something, and you just want to feel.
And we're too wrapped up in the feelings thing, okay?
So
those are temporary, and we are wrapped up in those things.
To the point where when you're talking about your opinion or something, you'll be like, well, I feel like. No, what do you think? Don't tell me what you feel. And I'm guilty of that above anybody. If I'm just talking very casual, very leisurely, just chilling with my peeps, and we're talking about something, I will throw that out. And then I have to come back and check myself and say, no, it's not about what you feel. Your feelings are a liar.
Right.
Okay, they're a big fat liar.
They are.
Okay, so we don't need to live in our feels, but
Right.
people do that. Have a conversation with anybody and then pay attention, especially the younger generation. How do they tell you about what their desires and thoughts are? They don't say, well, I think this. They will say specifically word for word, well, I feel like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's how people speak because we have gotten so into our feelings. And yes, your feelings are valid. God gave you feelings. You know, they're used for a purpose. You know, your feelings can let you know a lot of the time if you're headed on the right track or not or whatever. It can let you know if there's danger. It can let, you know, feelings can be helpful.
Yeah.
But they will also kill you.
They will. They will. Hey, before I forget, my husband will be 60 tomorrow. So if you see him out there, he's a good guy.
Happy birthday, Mr. Kim.
Steve-O.
I didn't know if you were going to throw his name out. Happy
No, he
birthday,
said
Steven.
I already did.
Oh, we did?
No, I did.
You did?
Before on another show.
We just throw everything out.
Yeah, we do.
didn't mean to.
No, I did mean to tonight. I had to throw it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do feel a lot better, though. Now I just got the final ribbon on the package. I got to face my friend, and I can do that because I've faced all this now. So
Yeah, you faced all 4 people watching this show.
Right.
And Billy, and me and Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got this, girl.
Yeah, I do. So you got anything else?
I don't think so, but listen, you guys, please, if you are, well, it's once this is over, we probably won't see the comments, but please always feel free to throw stuff in. But if you are not following us on our Facebook page, please jump over to Facebook and follow us. Oh, also on Instagram at Real and Redeemed. You can see this is the background of our profile photo, I think, this Real and Redeemed sign. And, you know, of course, our cute little faces with our coffee mugs. But give it, oh, here she goes. Give us a follow, and we want to hear from you. We want to know what kind of things you would like to talk about. What kind of things are hitting home for you right now, stuff. You know, we'll talk about it. Absolutely.
How cool is that?
Oh, Kim disappeared.
How cool is that? I love this. We're going to do a thing on this. Yeah, you guys can't. Oh, you can. You do see it on there. Look.
On here, just not on, yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
so
well, isn't that fun, I guess?
So Kim the Floating Head would love for you to come follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I'm taking, like, we are throwing out different things on the pages. I'm trying to get better at throwing other stuff out there and engaging people. But definitely also we take the whole show and we break it down into like little reels and stuff, and we're throwing that out there.
Yeah, we had to, she does all of that. I don't do any of that. Okay, I try to remember to like things. That's like my part.
Like and share. Yeah,
Like
but just
and
get
share,
over there. Help us to build up our followers, please. And then engage with us and let us know what you want to talk about on the show, what's important to you. And,
yeah, well,
you know,
obviously we'll talk about anything.
Oh, we sure will.
Anything.
Kim sure will. I'm along for the ride. Yeah.
That's not true.
Okay, well.
All right.
That's it.
All right, that's it.
Cut the cameras.
Join us in the studio.
Oh, join us in the studio. What?
Oh, join us in the studio.
Hey, so look, one of these days, we are actually going to bring some ladies in and have us a small live audience. I think what we should do is do
you
some
guys
kind
can
of...
already come. We got some seats here.
Yeah.
It's at the Resource Center.
Yeah. 7 o'clock, but you have to
7
be
o'clock.
here before that because you can't come in and make noise while we are recording. So if you're interested, if you are interested in being part of our live audience, shoot us a message and we will get that set up. Like I said, like she said, space is limited, seats are limited, but we would love to have some people in here and really get the conversation flowing.
And
So-
Doug, I hope you still love me. That's all I got. I got nothing else. Okay, well, it's pitiful. Okay, we're done.